Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Monster Manuals. This was originally my last monster, but I just gained another one, so we have certain, at least one more guaranteed before I gotta restock a little bit. But yeah, still have some kickstarts to do and something else for Mountain Dew Diaries, but I mean, I guess just other than that, maybe you'll see some more gaming content soon. It's gonna be starting to get really busy for me soon, so we may have to cut back on the content just a tad, maybe go on a little break, but, you know, just other than that, you know, we're still rolling like usual, so. I guess without further ado, without all of this rambling, the next monster that we're going to try is Monster Rehab Green Tea. Now, you know, I would say I'm a above average Monster fan now. I've tried about, I think this might be episode 30 of Monsters. I've tried 30 different monsters, and that's a bit of an accomplishment. Most people don't try 30 different monsters. But, you know, I would say I'm a fan of the Rehab series. I think it's quite interesting, you know. It's very interesting, a very different approach. And we've only tried Tea plus Lemonade, which is on Arnold Palmer, which I enjoy quite regularly, and Peach Tea, which I like peach, I like tea, you can't go wrong with it. Now Green Tea. Green Tea is something different. I don't know if I've ever had green tea in my life, so this may be my first experience with it. Quite interesting design with the green. Catches your eye a lot. And, you know, 160 milligrams caffeine, 15 calories. We have to shake gently. You know, non-carbonated, advanced hydration, electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, reduced fatigue, increased concentrations, vitamins B3, B5, B6, B12, coconut water, and botanicals of milk, thistle, and quercetin. I think that's how you say that. But yeah, you know, I just, you know, something funny, like I do look at this can, and I guess it is a little bit beat up. There's a little bit of, you know, it's not pristine condition, but I think just the color bounces off the light a little weird, and, you know, just kind of makes me really observe this can for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess without further ado, let's give this a crack in the pour and see what we're working with. But first, we gotta, this would be a death sentence with a regular monster. Alright, I think that's good. So, hold on, maybe a couple more. There we go. That should be good. So, crack in the pour, see what we're working with. Oh boy. Bit of an aggressive crack. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. It's not green. You would think green tea is green, but I guess when I think of green tea, I think of the matcha, whatever that is. The you guys know what I'm talking about. This isn't that. Almost apple-y smelling, which is quite interesting. I like apples. All right, let's give it a try. See what I have to say. First sip. Try from glass, see if it's any different. It's fine. As I get a frog in my throat. It's fine. It's kind of apple-y. That's kind of what I'm tasting is apple. But a very, most of these flavors are very subtle. And I guess with, electrolytes in it, and it's kind of it's not supposed to be overwhelmingly flavorful, but refreshing, recovering, and reviving. It's not bad. It's honestly not bad. I thought it was going to be worse than this. I genuinely thought it was going to be worse than this. But at the end of the day, nothing special. Really, nothing special. It's not bad. It's an apple-y flavor. It's green tea. It's an interesting way to start out my morning, with this. But quite honestly, it's not bad. I mean, you could obviously tell I've taken 3 or 4 sips out of it. I think I would have. That's gross if I did not like it, but, it's not bad. It's not bad. It doesn't really have an aftertaste. It kind of just tastes like a faint apple tea. Apple juice, maybe. But at the end of the day, still no complaints for the Rehab. We had the mixed berry tea, the tea plus lemonade, and the peach tea. I kind of forgot about the mixed berry, but another addition to the Monster collection, and really no complaints at all. So, short, simple, sweet first impressions of Monster Rehab green tea. Final thoughts? Well, not final thoughts. Final thoughts of the first impression. Apple flavor, which is good. Not aftertaste, which some Monsters do. Good. 160 milligrams caffeine. Good. Green. Good. Negatives, it's not green, which is kind of, maybe I'm just stupid, but I don't know. Which, that's not bad. It's okay. The color's not green, so I'm just rambling at the end of the day. But yeah, final thoughts. Good. A good Rehab. No complaints. So let's go move on to the review and the ranking on the tier list and see what I have to say. So let's go do that right now.
Alright, here we go. Monster Rehab Green Tea. I have taste at 6 out of 10, branding at 3.5 out of 10, kick at 1 out of 10, and this all rounds out to about a 3 out of 10. I think taste at 6 out of 10, it's not a bad tasting Monster. I think, it could be better, it could be worse, but I think the branding and the kick just don't come anywhere close to the taste. I think the branding at 3.5 out of 10, I think is very basic. I think the color is the only thing that's eye-catching, and I think, the mixed berry color can has a better color palette and catches my eye better. Then kick at 1 to 10. None of these Rehabs have any kick, so I think it deserves to just be a 1. And I think this all rounds out to about a 3 out of 10. I think there's no complaints with this Monster, and it may be lower than the other Rehabs. I don't remember, but I think 3 out of 10 is respectable for a Rehab. I think as a Rehab, this is a 9 or an 8 out of 10 Rehab, but as a Monster Energy, I think this is very respectable at 3 out of 10. And I think green tea falls at a meh on the tier list, where all of the other Rehab flavors are. I think it has the potential to be good, but I don't think it deserves to be lower than meh. I think, I've put a lot of Monsters on the meh tier, and I maybe need to reassess the tier list and do some regulating, and because it seems like we've got a very centralized ranking. I think, with only 1, 2, 3, 4 rankings that or the tiers that have rankings in them is a little bit so I think I need to do some regulation and redoing and all that jazz. But at the end of the day, green tea, meh flavor as a Monster, good flavor as a Rehab. So Monster Rehab green tea at meh tier. Alright, thank you guys for watching another episode of the Monster Manuals. This is episode 30. I would like to thank you guys for watching 30 episodes of this. It's kind of become a main series now because of Mountain Dew's sluggishness with releasing flavors, but at the end of the day, it's Mountain Dew still has my heart, but Monster is right up there with it. So thank you guys for watching another episode, and I will see you later. That's really about it. See you guys. Peace!